I repeat to you what I've said before. I have never bought or sold any crypto. I wish I'd bought the right one. The right ones, you know. I mean, many of them have disappeared and gone to zero. We all read about the success stories. We don't read about the hundreds or probably thousands by now that have disappeared and gone to zero. And yeah, I know people who are doing extremely well and making a lot of money and having a lot of fun. I'm not one of them. We'll see how it ends.
But, you know, yes, there's investors who are doing well, but the movement of CEOs, I mean, do you think we could see other companies like Apple, Netflix turning to Bitcoin?
The more people who join in, the bigger the price is going to be, the higher the price is going to be. It's a very simple equation. How it's all going to end, I have a different view, but in the meantime, I'm not going to rain on their parade. I'm not even at the parade. So more power to them as long as they get out in time.
As you know, people love comparing Bitcoin to gold, and many people view Bitcoin as a great vehicle for wealth preservation, more so than gold. How do you see it, Jim?
Well, I hardly see how it's a wealth preservation. It's only been around a short period of time. The people who bought it right are making money and creating wealth. I'm not sure that Bitcoin hasn't stood the test of time, but the test of hard times. If you're talking about wealth preservation, we will see. My view, as I think you remember, is that if Bitcoin becomes successful as money, which the advocates say, then the government's going to outlaw it because they don't want to lose the monopoly. They don't want the competition. They want the control. Money is going to be on the computer, Dan. It already is in China. You can't take a taxi in China with money, with renminbi, you can't try to buy an ice cream with Chinese money. So it's already happening in many countries. China is certainly ahead of the US, but the US is studying, figuring out what to do with how to do computer money. And all money is going to be on the computer, but I would suspect it's going to be government money. They don't want to lose control.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw even the IMF alluding to a new Bretton Woods moment, but not one backed by gold. They're speaking of a digital currency. And as you say, we already see China testing out a digital yuan, the euro, expected to roll out a digital euro. It is a form of government control, right? Because they'll know more about how we're spending the money, where we're going.
And they love it. First of all, they don't have to print it. Money costs a lot of money. They have to transport it, print it, guard it, account for it. If it's all on the computer, it's very, very simple. And they know, Daniela, they know everything you do, and they love that. I mean, I hate it, of course, but they'll call you up and say, Daniela, you've been feeding your babies too much milk this month. Calm down. They'll know everything we all do, which they love.
I want to get your thoughts on the Reddit craze. What did you make of the way the people are positioning it is this David versus Goliath situation that has happened of the people taking down Wall Street and exposing the ugly underbelly of Wall Street? What did you make of it?
Well, all of that's a little bit absurd. I mean, selling short is not the ugly underbelly of anything. It's been around for hundreds of years. It's a highly respected and necessary part of the financial markets to have liquidity and to have credibility. So, the people, Daniel, you know as well as I do, everybody needs to sell newspapers. Everybody needs to get eyeballs. And so they write good stories. I'm not sure it was a mob more than the little man taking down some evil plutocrat. It was a mob. They got together, and the hedge funds, I'm still surprised that they sold so much short. I mean, I've seen short squeezes all my life, and everybody, always the first thing I look at is how many shorts are there? Because then if there are too many shorts, I'm not going to sell something short, because I know I'm liable to a squeeze, and I don't know them, so I don't know. I don't know how they got into such a position. But then smart guys said, let's do a short squeeze. There have been short squeezes for hundreds of years, and they did it, and they were successful for a while. Now the government is looking at it. The government doesn't have to get in, Daniela. It's self-regulating. Enough people have lost money by now You don't have to worry about new controls, new regulations. It'll take care of itself.
I find that really interesting. It's a new perspective I'm hearing, Jim, because you're right. The media did depict it like, you know, the small guys versus the ugly hedge fund monsters. And it's interesting to hear you say that what hedge funds are doing is just normal part of the game. It's been there for history. It's not something like people are calling it manipulation, what the hedge funds were doing.
Wait, selling short is manipulation? Since when? Daniela, the manipulators were the mob. The mob said, let's have a short squeeze. That's manipulation. It's pretty clear and simple. It's legal. They didn't do anything that I know of. They didn't do anything illegal. But the manipulation were the guys having the short squeeze, all getting on the internet and saying, buy it, buy it, buy it. I mean, the hedge fund guys are clearly smart, except for the fact that they overextended themselves. I mean, this company, from what I can see, was a dead company. I mean, the fact that the stock went to $300 for a company which is basically out of business because some people got together and manipulated the stock and squeezed it. Why does that make the hedge funds evil? The hedge fund guys were smart and did their homework and knew what they were doing, except they got overextended, of course. The mob is going to lose a lot of money in this, because that company's not worth $50, much less $300. It was $8 before. It's going to go back and probably lower.